Good morning, everyone. You'll have to bear with me. I'm on what is one of the most boring, longest drives that I have to make on a regular basis. So, heading into work to our Detroit office, which is a 3+ hour drive for me, one way. Don't have to do it much too often anymore, so like once a month, but here I am. And I guess that's a good time to think because I tend to do a lot of thinking when I'm driving. I think I'm going to just pick up a little bit where I left off with my video I posted yesterday. Just kind of letting thoughts and ideas free flow with just my current situation and everything that's going on. So, fun fact, when you are an elected official, tort law does not apply the same way to you as it does to like just an average person, which means that people have greater autonomy with the things they can say about you and what your legal recourse is. Like, an average person can take somebody to court, civil court, and sue them for slander and defamation. But if you're an elected official, or like an actor or a public figure, it's not applied the same way to you, and it's much harder to do that, which has kind of made this whole situation a little bit frustrating because of the things people are saying, the things some of the media is saying. Some of it's laced with truth, but a lot of it is just really stretched or outlandish or just completely untrue. And there's not a whole lot of recourse legally that I can take. There is some, and so I am pursuing what legal recourse I can take, and I'm working on that. I do have an attorney retained, and we're working through some things, but it's still difficult, it's expensive, and it's another thing that takes time and attention, right? I guess what else is on my mind today is just like this has become like this in itself is kind of a nightmare situation for me. Me as a person, I know most of you don't know me at all from Adam. A lot of people are probably clicking on this video because of articles they've seen or they know who my husband is. But me as a person, I am very much a sensitive person. I'm a softie. One of those people who would pretty much do anything for anyone. People would call me up, any type of need, and I'm there in a heartbeat. That's just who I am as a person. I'm a very giving person. And it's really not even limited to like my close circle, right? I'm the person a lot of people call when they need things because I'm that person. Give you the shirt off my back if you needed it. Doesn't matter who you are. And because of just my very nature, I've been taken advantage of a lot in my life. And maybe that's why I married my husband, because he is kind of the opposite. He can be a little bristly. He is very much very good at setting boundaries. He doesn't give anybody any more length than he thinks they deserve. He is very close with his circle or people he's willing to do favors for. But that being said, when he has people that he cares about and loves, he loves very fiercely, and he's a very passionate person. I think I'm not going to speak about his ideology, his beliefs. I'm trying to keep this more focused on mine, because I don't want to speak for him. I can't speak for him. It's not fair to him. And I just don't feel like I would represent him as accurately as he deserves. But what I can say is that I've never thought that, like, in my life, I have never had the thought of, oh, this person has this thought, this opinion, or this belief. Better stop talking to them, or better kick them out of my circle, or better not associate, or better unfriend them off my Facebook. Like, I'm just not that type of person, because I think people are dynamic and nuanced. And I think that it's possible for people to hold opinions that are unsavory or polarizing to your own, and still get along with people, still have good relationships with people. And I've always carried myself that way, and I've always had relationships with people that have viewpoints from across the aisle. But that being said, I've always been very guarded with my own viewpoints and with my own feelings and opinions, out of fear that people would reject me or would not like me. That's something I've had since I was a very small child, just this horrible fear of rejection. So when I say that, like, this whole situation is like my nightmare coming true, it really is. It's like one of those things, like, it's nightmare fuel for me. It's been very hard for me to deal with. It's almost been its own grieving process, because there are people that have known me my entire life, and literally nothing about our relationship has changed. Nothing about me has intrinsically changed. But because they know a detail about my husband that they now don't like, they've now put me into this box as somebody that they can't associate with or they don't like anymore. And that's really been a hard pill to swallow. But it's also been really eye-opening to me. It's made me realize that maybe this is a good experience in a way. Maybe there are some people that don't quite deserve my time, effort, energy. And so it's kind of like the trash is taking itself out, basically. I know that's probably kind of cold to say, but it does feel that way. There are moments where that's exactly how it feels. It's been especially hard with family, right? Like, Chris and I have been married. Tomorrow is our 9th wedding anniversary. A lot of his views have changed over time. I mean, he is nowhere near the same person he was when we got married. Like, he's a dynamic person. He's a nuanced person. Everybody is. People change. People grow. It would be crazy to think that somebody had all the exact same beliefs when you meet them, as opposed to like 10 years down the road. And so, like, a lot of these people in social media comments and in threads, I see them say, I can't believe you would marry a Nazi. And I just, like, the first thought that, like, just clicks in my head is, okay, well, I didn't marry him yesterday. But also, like, do you think people's opinions and views don't change, morph, grow over time? But also, like, he's the type of person that is constantly on a quest for more knowledge, enlightenment, if you will, or really to see what's out there. He's just one of those people who's always reading, always wanting to learn. And so, do I think that, like, his views are going to stay exactly the way they are today? Absolutely not, because I've watched them grow and develop over time, significantly. But it's so funny, some of the things I'm seeing people put in some of these comments and threads, or the people that are just calling me a Nazi by proximity. Yes, because I have done absolutely nothing that would indicate that. But that's like the favorite thing to call people Like it's just like this thing that the left does. It's like, oh well, you have horrible viewpoints. I don't like you. You've done this. You've done that. You're just a Nazi. It's ridiculous because even though my husband may have actually at one point in time stated he aligned with the National Socialist ideology, yes, that would be short form Nazi, right? But it's not the same thing as like Nazi Party Germany in the 1930s. It's really not the same thing. But that's all people understand. That's all people know. They don't understand that there are actual ideologies and political parties today that have a lot of similar ideals, go by similar banners. But I mean, they're not trying to exterminate the Jewish race. Like, oh, that was another thing that said that my husband wants to slaughter Jews, and that's absolutely not true. Like there's so many misconceptions and so many things that are just being taken and just run with. It's ridiculous. He's not a violent person. He doesn't want to do violent things. But I can't even really remember where I was going with that. But just some of the things that people are saying, like, yes, by proximity, I'm apparently also just a Nazi now. I've lost all of my individuality. I don't have any of my own personal traits anymore, to many people, just because of my association to my husband, whom I married 9 years ago. Just kind of crazy to me. Like, we've known each other, we've had all of these conversations, everything's been good until you found out my husband expressed nonviolent views online that you don't agree with, and now all of a sudden I'm a completely different person. Okay, whatever. Like I said, sometimes the trash takes itself out. But anyway, those are my frustrations of the day. I think part of it's frustrating because, like, for anybody who actually does follow him online, he actually had stepped back away from and kind of renounced his alignment with National Socialism because he couldn't reconcile it with Christianity. Which, again, as a Christian, the first thing I did when all of this started happening, and really when I realized there was a problem, was really just pray for my husband. Like, that's the best thing I can do. I can't tell him what to do. He's a grown man. I can't force him to do anything. I can't control him. It's funny, people think I can do that. Absolutely not. And so I felt like my role in all of this as his wife was really to just pray for him and really turn to God and have faith that he's going to bring us through this situation. So that's been my whole approach. A lot of people don't like what my approach has been. First I was too silent, and then when I did speak up, it wasn't the right things to say, and everything I have said has been from the heart, and it's been my truth. So whatever, don't care what you think. I think that women who would divorce their husband over something like this, it's not respectable. Not at all. Especially when it's an opinion, and opinions change every day. Opinions are like toilet paper. That's all I really have to say about that piece. But really, he's, like I said, he's kind of stepped back, turned away from the National Socialism. But of course, that doesn't create clicks. It doesn't sell articles. It doesn't, whatever. It doesn't do anything for these media companies. So they're focusing on what happened 3 months ago. That's okay. Whatever. Lost my train of thought a little bit, and I got a little bit of dry mouth. So I think where I was going with all of that is I just feel like I think all of this has been a wake-up call, I have spent the majority of the last 10 years of my life chasing my career, kind of trying to climb the corporate ladder, and really investing a lot of my life into just chasing the next big shiny thing with my career. It left me to kind of not focus as much on what he was doing, my home. I had admittedly been very distant and cold with my relationship with God. And it was more so because I was filling my spaces with other things, right? Didn't have time for it, right? And I feel like whether this situation was a God thing to pull me back in, pull my family back in, or whether it's just being used by him for good, I don't know. But either way it is. Honestly, if it hadn't been for this, I wouldn't have had a return to faith in the way that I have. So I'm very thankful. And I think that's how I'm going to be recentering things from here on out. Is it serving him? And is it serving my family? And if it's not, then I'm just kind of going to chuck it out the window. But anyway, this was, again, another very loosely structured rambling from me. Just kind of sharing where things are at with regard to how I'm feeling, what's on my heart. I'm going to try to maybe give some more structured thoughts, structured dialogue. So I'll give some thought to that. So if you actually listen to this, kudos to you, because I don't know if I would have been able to with my own ADHD. But I appreciate it if you do. And again, I'll make the call like I did yesterday. If you don't support me, cool, whatever. If you do, just pray for me. Pray for my family. That's all we can do right now. And